kokchin oven? Ugo! Shemen hudlot nemerkwe!
What can I say? Ghost of Tsushima is a very beautiful game. With the PS4 era winding down, this may be one of the last PlayStation exclusives left, and my what an exclusive it is. As a player on this picture mode, which is very awesome and highly extensive, let me tell you a little bit about this game and if you should buy it if you happen to be on the fence about it or not sure. Ghost of Tsushima stars Jin Sakai, a samurai who must face the invading Mongols who plan to take over the island of Tsushima as they conquest to the Japan mainland. Hopelessly outnumbered and facing an enemy whose cruelty shows no bounds, Jin struggles with his samurai honor code in fighting with respect or fighting dishonorably as a ghost, as he must rally all of Tsushima to repel the Mongol invaders. Ghost of Tsushima is an open world game. It's a game where you explore the entire island, which has tons of different landscapes, from flowery grasslands to the high mountain tops to the beaches and even the snowy mountains. There's not one area in this game that doesn't look absolutely gorgeous. It's one of the best looking games I've ever seen on console. And having a big island like this gives you a lot of areas to explore, to find lots of new stuff. And of course this game has a lot of collectibles and things that you can obtain to help you throughout your journey. And they will come up on waypoints on the map in which you can use guiding winds to help locate items a lot faster depending on how you level up your characters. But some of these things you use to find without the map can include, but not limited to, honor shrines, which can have swords that you can use to collect, which don't really give you a strategical value. They're all the same. It's mostly just the looks or whatnot with descriptions of what it is or whatnot, but there's so many sword designs, it's amazing. To hot springs, which increase your health as you sit there and reflect upon the past or what's going on within the game at the moment. To bamboo strikes, which I did not do that in one time. It took me about 9 times, but it improves your resolve, which can be used to perform some of the special abilities in this game that you'll learn eventually. 2 hakus that you can perform by looking in the wilderness, which give you headbands that you can put on. Also, these shrines in which you pray to, which eventually give you tokens, but some of them can be hard to get to because you know a certain item, which I'll get to in a moment. But usually you'll have to traverse the wall climbing area, which breaks up the monotony of this game a little bit. So it's not just non-stop fighting action. So you do have some rock scaling and ways to swing and get to where you need to go. But usually offering getting a very powerful token that you use to equip your character to give abilities. And Inari shrines, which you pray to the Inari and make sure you pet the fox. You better pet the fox. You have to pet the fox. He's cute and cuddly. See, look at him. You want to pet the fox. He's such a cute fox. Well, at least he's a nice animal. Unlike the other animals that I've encountered in this game, unfortunately. Did you know ending a soldier's life like this, his suffering gives you resolve and replenish? Just a little fun fact. And as I was saying earlier, one thing that you can get in the game is a little hook shot, which you can use to swing and climb to other areas that you previously couldn't reach, which can help. You can also swing and get on top of buildings and get an advantage over enemies, not just for traversing these areas or rocks or whatnot, but it's a pretty fun mechanism. But the bread and butter in this game is definitely the combat. And one of the best parts is the standoffs, where you do a standoff, you announce your presence, and pretty much you see who can win. And how it goes is that you hold down a button, and the enemy will flinch. It's only when he actually moves that you're supposed to attack. So it works if they move first, you win. If you move first, you lose. And the first island, it's not, or first party island, it's not that hard to do. But as you go to the other parts of the island, it gets harder and harder. But standoffs are good because they do replenish a lot of your resolve. And if you level up correctly, you can have a whole link of multiple enemies come at you, so you can honestly build up more resolve and eliminate a lot of enemies from the very get-go. But as I said, it gets harder and harder as you get to the other islands. And usually you'll be able to save someone from these Mongol patrols that are on the roads. But let's get into more of the combat. And with the combat, you can obviously use not just your sword, but other weapons like your half bow or your long bow, which basically gives you a lot of options. You can decide to go in here stealthily or attack this way. You can use the flowers to your advantage. The fun part of the combat is you don't have to do it one way. You can do one way, you can do the other, be more stealthily like the ghost, you can be more honorable like a samurai, or you can do a little bit of both. I kind of like to do a little bit of both. Guess I'm more loud and proud anyway, just because the standoff gives me a huge advantage for the most part. But as you face in combat, I think that's the beauty of it. You can play so many different ways. You don't necessarily have one way or another. It's not like there's a system where it benefits you more if you do it one way compared to another. It's really up to you how you want to do it. And sometimes different enemies, different areas, different types of terrains will change up your style depending on where you are. But you can also be really stealthy and just try to assassinate people and use some of the Ghost's other weapons, obviously like his little dagger knife. You can throw kunais, you can have little wind chimes to distract enemies, you can have smoke bombs, black powder bombs. You can approach these things so many different ways, and that's the fun. You have the option to, and that's what I really enjoyed the most, is that it wasn't like there's only one way you can do it, or if you do it one way, you get benefited for doing it that one way, and if you do another way, you get a different type of benefit. It's really how you feel and all. And as I said before, sometimes it's more efficient just to assassinate everyone, and sometimes I just want to run in loud and proud like a banshee. But assassinations can be pretty cool, because you can also string a whole horde of them if you level up right, where you can assassinate 3 people in quick succession if they're close by without alerting anybody. And not only that, you can also assassinate people through doors. You can be so terrifying that you can literally scare your enemies so bad that they'll run away. Or they can just, I guess, sit on the ground for the longest time awkwardly until they run away. Anytime, buddy. Come on. You can do it. Get up. There you go. Being the ghost does have its perks, though. But one of the cool things about combat is you'll learn different stances. From the water, the wind, the moon, and the stone. All these stances have different functions. Basically, depending on what type of enemies you face, a certain stand may be more advantageable to use against that. For example, if you're facing someone with a spear or a lance, you'd rather use the wind stance. The wind stance to give more of an advantage over that. If you're facing someone with a shield, the water stance is more your friend. And so on and so on. Using different stances, and you can swap between them in active and battle, is very key to gaining an advantage against all your opponents. You can obviously do things like counterattacks and parries, and reading your enemies and knowing what stances to use and when to use them, as well as your special attacks, is very key in battle. It can be very, very, very rewarding. And it can be tough when you have the enemies just jump you all at once with different types of enemies coming after you. But one of the coolest things in this game is the ghost stance. Basically, it terrifies the enemies and you can one-shot up to 3 people. You learn this about halfway in the game, and in order to get it, you must be able to kill a bunch of enemies without taking any damage. Taking damage even after you've earned the ability to use the ghost stance will also take it away, so be careful. But ghost stance basically terrifies enemies, gives you easy kills, and just absolutely just wrecks. And it's very addicting. I love going into it every single time. It can easily turn the tide of a lot of battles, especially if you get ganged up by a lot of enemies. I've seen myself using it time and time again, but as I said, you got to be able to kill a bunch of enemies in succession without getting hit once, so it can be a little tough. That's why I like to combine a lot of things. I personally like to use the kunai as it's quick and easy to pull out, as well as other things like explosive arrows, just stuff to get my streak going, and you'll see it at the bottom right hand corner of your screen as it's filled up. But as you play the game, you'll be able to conquer more territories, discover more areas, and also you'll find more locations as you go more on the island. But as I said before, I personally like to run in just because I feel like it's a little bit more challenging. You can use the ghost mode, but I just feel like it's not as fun. Not that it's bad, I do like it, but I personally like to let my enemies know, hey, I'm here, I'm coming for you, are you ready for me or not? We're going to find out. And it's fun as crap just to be surrounded, using some of the heavenly abilities, like the heavenly strike right here, which is awesome when you pull it off good, or do the fire blade, as well as some other abilities you'll learn in the game. And if you're good enough and you level up high enough, you eventually can become the Ghost of Tsushima. But you're going to have to do all the quests and collect all the stuff in order to get that. The last thing I will show you is definitely all my gear in terms of all my swords, outfits, and stuff like that. But basically, there's a lot of them, and they all look really, really cool as crap. So I'll try to go through all the ones I've collected, and I believe I've gotten everyone in the game, because I have platinum this game, so I've been playing for a little while. But as you can see, these swords look cool as crap. I like the names, the different colors, the different ones they got, and then the little story that you read beneath them, like what it sword was or who it came from and how it became to be. I think they look dope as crap. Like, honestly, me being a swords guy myself, I would love to own a lot of this stuff, as there's tons of swords that look cool. I'm more of a red person, so I'm going to go with that. You got a lot of charms, which I call tokens early on, but they're charms, and a lot of Naruto references here, like Charm Amaterasu, and I know those terms probably existed well before Naruto ever was a thing, but you got Tsukiyomi and Susanoo as well. And then you get your helmets, which I like personally the monkey mask, but you also get dyes that change the color of it. But here's all the helmets. I like that deer helmet with the deer horns and stuff. I said mask, but this is the helmets. Mask comes later, but I got all these headbands and helmets, and there's a lot of them in this game, and a lot of them look really, really cool. And as I like that Saku's helmet. Get the headband. As there's so many of them. There's so many different ones. And you can look so cool. We have different ones. You got the Mongol helmet. I liked a lot of the straw hat ones. They're pretty cool, especially the Oni's blade straw hat. I had that for a while. I like that. And you got the Tengai. That's my monkey mask goes right through it. Now we can get onto the mask, and as I like the monkey mask best, but there's so many good ones. You got a ghost mask, you got a wolf mask you can unlock, you got a venging lord. You got so many like really, really good ones. Like, oh my god, they look so good and intimidating, and you can look dope as hell, no kidding. And then you got your armor, which can give you a lot of benefits depending on which type it is and how much you level it up and whatnot, if you get enough materials and stuff like that. Same thing with the swords, but not like differently, but overall they're all the same, just how they look. But as I said, I personally like the Sakai armor, and I also like the Ghost. The Mongol armor is pretty good too, and obviously I like the Traveler just because it's easy to find things and from a distance, and of course that's the best armor in the game. Nothing beats that, but it's actually pretty good if you read what it does, so it's not too bad. But I really like that. You can see your accessories, your weapon, your ammunitions. You also see how you level up with your techniques, your mythic ones for your samurai stuff, your stances, your ghost abilities. So you got a pretty extensive skill tree, and you can see all your collectibles, all the things you've discovered. One thing I didn't mention was duels. I didn't have any clip for duels at the moment, but basically it's a one-on-one duel. You'll have a lot in the boss fights, but you also use it to learn the special mythic techniques. And I would say is make sure you have some resolve points when you do your duels, because I learned that out the hard way during the final boss fight. Is that guy basically beat the crap out of me, and the game started to feel sorry because it gave me resolve to help me out. Bottom line though, if you're on the fence about this game and you want my honest opinion, I suggest you get this game. If this is truly the last really good exclusive for the PS4, what a way to go out on. This game is absolutely phenomenal. The island is so beautiful, one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. The combat is addicting, the story is good, and it has a large playthrough time to play through the game. So much to do, a lot of replayability. I highly suggest that you pick this game up. And that is going to be it of my review. Hopefully this helped those who are on the fence. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Have a nice day, and I'll see you guys back on the next video. Thanks for watching, and peace.